Hi everyone. I know it's been a while since I've made a video, but I wanted to uh, try my hand and get back at it, making videos and posting them. I feel really bad, but I was about to make a candy cane theme Christmas wreath, and I figured I will just film it. So here we go. So lately it's been a shortage on 14-inch wreath frames. So this is a 12-inch wreath frame. I made a couple on the 12-inch, and my goal was to make sure it was big enough because nobody wants a little bitty small Christmas wreath, right? So I figured out how to make it at least 24 inches on this frame. So here we go. What you're gonna need, I got the red and white striped mesh, and this is 12-inch. You may need 1.5 of these. Let's cross our fingers we don't, because I decided to cut the other roll that I had so that I could make ruffles. Of course, you need your 12-inch wreath frame. You're gonna need some pipe cleaners. I cut half, some of them in half, and some of them I did not cut in half, and I'll show you why in a minute. So I have red, and then I have a couple of different ribbons that show. It looks like my lighting is off. Hopefully it's not after I finish. So they have candy canes and peppermints. I'm gonna try to do 3 different. This might be too matchy with this, but we'll see. Maybe we'll just do a solid red or something. So the first thing that I'm gonna do, of course, I like making my puffs or bubbles or however you want to call it. I like having it in my lap, so I'm gonna try my best to keep it on the table and not go out of frame. So I like to drop mine on the floor just so I can have better leverage. Of course, my table is crowded as usual with all kind of stuff. Um, but the first thing I'm gonna do, I just gotta drop mine on the floor. I gathered the end, and I'm just gonna hold it in my hand like so. And I'm going into the crossbar on the bottom. We're gonna call this the bottom for this sake. Bottom, when I refer to top, I'm gonna be talking about the outer ring of the wreath frame. So we're gonna go right into this crossbar on the bottom, but we're gonna attach it right above this inside ring. So I told you that I did not cut all of them in half, and I probably need more than this. But the first one, because when I go around, I'm gonna double this up. I'm gonna use a full frame. I mean, a full pipe cleaner. So all I did was take it through the center of this right here, and this is gonna be my first one, and I'm gonna give it 2 ties down just to make sure that it's pretty secure. I said I was gonna have my measuring stick because I never do. You know, when I make the bubbles, I always like to, and I'm gonna pull, I like to take it and take my hand and hold it, and I measure to the inside. I'm just gathering it together like this so that it curls under, pulling it up. I like to measure into, I know you can't see that, into the inside of my elbow. So I am going to measure this for you because I never do. Let's see. So this is about 12 inches. So I'm pulling it out 12 inches. I'm going to kind of gather that, making sure all of that is, all underneath. I'll swing it over, and I'm going to attach it to the bottom ring with a half of the 1/2 of the pipe cleaner. And I'm just going to give it two twists, because you don't want to twist it too many times because then your ribbon is going to sit up. So that's one. Inside of each section, I'm going to do two of my 12-inch puffs. So again, I'm making sure that my mesh is all underneath, meaning that these 2 corners or two edges, however you want to say it, or underneath. And again, I'm pulling up to my elbow, which you probably can't see. And I'm going to swing this around. I don't know why it's so difficult for me to make these just sitting on the table. It's just so much easier to have it in my lap. So that's 2. I know I said 2. I have 3 in this, but realistically, this very first one is going to account for the last one. So you're going to attach it. You're going to do 2 in each section, and we'll go around. So I'll try to go fast, not bore you all. So I'm going all the way around in the inner ring of the wreath. And then I'm going to swing it back to that last one, that last frame. And for all of these, I'm using half of a pipe cleaner. 1, 2. Maybe I should pull my camera back some so you guys can see. But I know you didn't really want to see me. I know you really just want to see this. So that's a little twisted. So I'm just going to adjust it right at the pipe cleaner to make sure it's going underneath. Again, I'm laying it onto the frame. I'm gathering it. I'm pulling to my elbow, but remember these are 12 inches. To the inside of my elbow. Remember, if it gets twisted right here, see that part is flipped up, just adjust that right at the pipe cleaner and only twist one. Let's see. I don't know how people make videos and do this just sitting on a table. Goodness, it feels awkward for me. Again, I'm pulling it around. I'm kind of, when I gather it, it's kind of crunched together, but when I sit it on to the actual frame, I'm letting it open a little bit. I'm praying this is enough. Because when I started doing, usually I can use 1 roll. So that's 1, 2. I can use 1 roll of mesh. But when I started doing it this way, going around the inner ring first and then to the outer, I noticed that I was using a little more mesh. But that's sort of my goal. I wanted it fluffier. I wanted it wider. So that's, okay. So again, it's probably, some rows are not equal in size and length. So some I had to use 1.5 of these, and some I don't. So of course, I like how that's falling already. I just like red and white. But of course we're gonna fluff them out. Again, I'm just grabbing, going to my inside of my elbow and bringing it around. And if you can see, although I had a crunch, I'm just laying it flat on there, right where I gathered. I'll cut this. Hope everyone's staying safe. So again, I'm only using half, so let me cut a couple more. Just 2 more. Can you believe it is what, November the 9th here? And it is 70, I think 5 outside in Chicago. In Chicago. Can you believe that? Unbelievable. I know other places, but Chicago? No way. But it is, and it's been that temperature pretty much for the last 5 days. And I think they're predicting one more, but I think I saw that it's gonna rain tomorrow. But still, nice temperature. We did get cold for a while though. So on this last section right here, I've already put one. Remember, we started off one at the crossbar. So what I'm gonna do is attach that last one. So I'm gonna do one more puff right here. That will complete my 2 in that section. So where I started, and this is why I started off with a longer pipe cleaner. So this is my last one, which would make my 2 in this last section for the inner ring. And I'm just gonna place that right on top of there. And give it a same thing, 2 twists, because we don't want it to come apart. So from there, I'm gonna transition to our last frame. Can you see? Wait. I'm gonna transition to the last part of the wire, and I'm crossing over. So right here is on that crossbar. I'm just starting right in an angle and go up. For these, same thing. I'm kind of figuring out my space, pulling that up. Oops, sorry. Trying to keep my puff. Pulling that up. And I'm going, instead of just one bar, instead of just doing this one, I'm gonna now attach it to both, to the last 2. So again, remember we have them crunched up. I'm kind of opening up some. If you can see, I'm gonna take a full pipe cleaner and I'm gonna attach it over both of the bars, the last 2. Again, I'm tying tight because you are in between. If you don't, I'm gonna pull this up some. See how I laid it kind of flat on there? Because we don't want this to really slide. So my pipe cleaner kind of is, well, the mesh is kind of overlapping a little bit on top of these 2 crossbars. So I could do this 2 ways. I tried it. I should get the wreaths that I have. So one time I did it, I only did 2, just as I did here, 2 in each section. But I noticed when I did 3 in the section that it was a little fuller. I'm gonna look at my, I think I'm gonna stick with 2 because it looks like I'm not gonna have enough. So I'm gonna do 2 in the top section, but the 2 top bars I'm going over. Same thing. I'm just gonna measure out my 12-inch. I'm using a full pipe cleaner and I'm flex, sort of, I don't know if you can see that. I'm making sure this kind of goes over both of these bars. So what I will probably do, because I want to finish this, maybe I'll add some curls to it or some ruffles if it does not look full enough. But it's still measured, although the other one looked better to me with the 3 in each section. The one with the 2 was still fine. It just didn't look as full on the outer part. Again, I'm gonna try to turn. So that's all I'm doing. We'll see once we finish. Sometimes wreath making is trial and error, right? You never know. I was devastated when normally I just run to the Dollar Tree, and if Dollar Tree doesn't have the 14-inch frames, I run to, you know, Michael's or something and grab them, and no one, I mean no one. Sometimes you can find that at Walmart also. You can find that size or something similar. No one had them. So I was like, oh my goodness, because I know I can always get them. So I only buy usually like 20 at a time. Because you know when you craft, you don't have storage for anything. You don't have space for storage. So 2 in each section, just making sure I have them. So again, I'm gonna go all the way back around to where I started. I'm doing a check of my mesh to make sure I have enough. This flipped on me a little bit. So right at the, see it kind of turned some. So right at that pipe cleaner, I'm just gonna make sure I twist it to make sure that it's laying the correct way. So if you notice that it's bunching a lot right where you're laying it down, take your time. Just make sure you open it up, because it won't, that particular puff or or bubble will not, you won't be able to fluff it out well. And as you're fluffing, you will notice that one is like bunched up too much at your pipe cleaner. So all I'm doing, and I know I keep getting out of frame, I'm sorry. I'm making sure my mesh is going down the correct way. So I know I did another video where I showed you how to just do the bubble method, and I went up, down one, up two, and crisscross all the way through. I still do that sometimes depending on what I'm trying to accomplish, but I started doing it this way, and I like it much better. Like, it's fuller. I don't necessarily have to fill in a lot of gaps. And the other thing I learned, I was putting, the pipe cleaner on just the last frame, and I'll show you in the next one. Let's see. What I noticed was that when I did a half of a pipe cleaner and only did it on the last frame, that the bubbles started to really separate from the other part. So now, you know, they're not flopping or whatever. But when I did it the other way, and I'm gonna show you, it seemed like I got more gaps. So I tried it this way and I liked it more. So right here, all right, sorry about that, phone rang. Okay, so I was showing you. So right now we're doing it at the last two, but if we did it on just one, and watch, it makes me a liar. Oh. So I'm doing a half of one. Well, I do a whole one. Nope, I do a half of one. And I'm just gonna attach it to this bottle, the first one. There's nothing wrong with it. It's fine because you're usually adding so much into a wreath. But if you can see, like, maybe I have to do two. This separates a little more and it starts to, let's do another one. So you can see the difference. It just seemed like it was more floppy. Is that a word? That makes sense. I'm telling you, it's gonna make me a liar. And it may be just because of the different mesh that you use. But, okay. So these are the ones that I did with just one. See how those lay? Versus these are the other ones. They're not. They're a little tighter, they're a little closer. These don't lay as well. Or it looks like it's not part of the wreath. So let me attach that. And just correct that. And that may actually work out. Like, say I was adding some pretty large ornaments in here, that may not be a bad idea, to have it separate. That way the mesh will be coming out, you know, showing out, and you can stuff that ornament. Let's see, I don't have a big one in front of me, but you know, if you had a really large one, you could really stuff it in there and it is show, without it kind of sitting up. So that might be a great thing. I'm just gonna correct these right quick. Stuff everywhere. Lord. Copy. I'm gonna try to, let's see, without my camera falling, pull back a little more or up. Let's see. Oops. Sorry, you all. Trying to adjust. We made it with just a little bit. It's not much. If I would have did the 3, we wouldn't have made it around. So this is the last section and and the second one. Let me flip this over. So the last section, and I'm gonna add the second one, and then I'll show you what I do to the other one. I don't have any more red. Okay, I don't have, look like I ran out of the long, oh, here's one. Again, if you have enough of this, of the mesh that you're using, go ahead, do the 3. I actually really like the way having 3 in each section looked versus the 2. So that was the last one, the last set inside of the frame. So because you want it to look cohesive, so I'm just gonna go one more time. I'm gonna take the mesh, my 12-inch again, and where I started. So I've been playing with this because I'm like, oh, would it make it look too bulky on one side? But I hadn't noticed the problem. So I still did 12-inch because we do have an extra bubble kind of right there. I did the 12-inch. If we noticed it, I think the last one that I did go a little smaller, probably like 9 inches, and attach this last one. So again, I did my 12 inches, and I'm just going to where I first started, and I'm just gonna attach that on top of that very last one to kind of close it out. And then I'm gonna cut off the rest. And there we kind of go. I'm gonna keep moving this. So now all I do is I go through it and I take the mesh. I'm not completely pulling it out the bubble, but I'm pulling and straightening it out. I normally do my inner ring first, and then I'll go back in, go back around, and do the I can't talk. The outside part of the frame. See how nice and full that is? It already looks like a peppermint, right? I'm just kind of going through and I'm pulling to open it up. I'm not completely revealing the outside of that bubble, or the corner, what is that, the ends of the bubble. I'm not putting a sign in this, so I really like the fact that it's full in the center. If I was putting a sign in here, of course I would stretch this out some, and I can, once I pull all this out, I'll show you. So they didn't want a sign, they just wanted the peppermints and the peppermint theme. But it's perfectly fine to put that sign right on here. But you're gonna probably push in a little more with a sign because it's nice and fluffy. Okay, so I went around. Of course, you don't have to do this method of fluffing yours. You can go in each section and just fluff as you go. Probably make more sense because I probably do extra fluffing because my hand is sitting on here. So I started to, this last row, I'm sorry y'all, I'm out of frame. This last row, I'm stretching just a little bit more, stretching it out. So this is what kind of happens. So this is really tight and crunched up right here. So it's a little harder to make sure you pull it all out. So I might have to adjust, oh, it's fine. Since I may have to adjust that pipe cleaner. And of course you could do this on any other size frame, but this is the 12-inch. twist it right there. And as you can see, as I'm opening them, I'm kind of laying them interchangeably in, laying them flat in between each other. So the inner ring ones with the outer ring ones, sort of moving them around so they could look like they're all one piece. Okay. So of course you want to go do a check. Make sure everything is how you want it before you start adding stuff to it. So you may have to move some around just to make sure the circle is round. Let's see, so nice and pretty and fluffy. That's probably gonna drive me a little nuts right there. So let's see how fluffy it is. I'm gonna stick it in the middle. So, oh, wrong way. So that's about 5 inches in depth. If I could find my measuring stick, let's see. I don't, but so we'll do. I'll look for the measuring stick by the time we finish. Because I don't know how well I'm going to do. So from corner, so that's 12, about 12 right there. 12, and that's kind of centered. And that's additional 12 and, I don't know, maybe 8.5. So that gives us 20, but of course you can always fluff this out longer. And I think, like when I did the other one, the mesh was a little longer. And like I said, when I did 3 puffs on the ends, it seemed like it was bigger. But I'll get it. Sometimes I can't see well. Like if I don't know, do you make it flat? I'm horrible at measuring. So probably about 21 inches for this, realistically. But that's still pretty good, going from 12 inches. And we could always make this come out more by fluffing out, of course. I'm just showing you another way to fluff this out some. And pull it out more to out of the center. But I do want my center filled because I'm not putting a sign in this. So I'm just pulling them out some just to make it fluffier. Okay, I'll be fluffing all day. You guys know me. You know how I am. I find one little imperfection and I go crazy. I just want to make sure it's even. If you find that you have a weak spot, which right here kind of looks like it, it may not look like it for you on camera, that is exactly where you can put your bow. That spot looks a little weak to me. I'm not sure why, but that is exactly where you could put your bow, and it would be perfectly fine. So all I'm doing is kind of pulling, like mixing these in with one another. And sometimes what happens is that, I don't know if you can see. So there, right there, this is a little twisted at my, where my pipe cleaner is at. So that may be the reason why I'm seeing it as looking like it's a little weaker, not as full as the other one. But this is gorgeous by itself. Let's see, can you really see the whole thing? All right, y'all. I'm gonna stop. So I have this ribbon. Not sure. Bow? Yeah, we could put a bow. I have this with the peppermints. I don't know. Is this too much? It won't. I think it'll go too much. So maybe we could either stick with a solid red, or white. This is a darker green, but then I'm too much. I do have this, but it's more of a lighter green, a lime green, versus if I put this in, these are a little darker. So maybe I'll stick with the solid red, or I have some of the shimmery red. Let's see how it goes. What you guys think? Solid red? Decisions. Solid red. Because I'll show you. I'll start off with the solid red and see what happens. But let me show you some of the things I have to go in it. As you can see, I've been all in Hobby Lobby lately. So candy canes. Look at these cute little peppermints. Let's see what else I have. Have these, a couple of those. I'm not sure. I learned that when you buy things, you need to buy it in odd numbers. So either 5 or 3. I'm gonna pull these out right now. And then I have these, but that might be going overboard. I don't know. We'll see. Let me pull out what else I have in this bag. More of these. Just pulling out everything I have. And we may not use all of this. So I'll move these out the way. But these are too cute too. Look at them. The good thing is you can bend them. That red overload. That's why I bought a ribbon that had, you know, some other color in there. So when I'm gonna put a bow right here. But when I decide, you know, the ribbon that I'm putting in here, I really don't measure it. I kind of take the ribbon and I'm finding a space, especially the deepest space, and I'm kind of putting it inside and holding it to see if I like the way that lays down. So that looks about right to me. So all I do is take it up, and this is where I kind of pinched it to know, and I then just kind of cut right there. You know, my hands are bad, so I decided to buy a good pair of scissors. So I'm just gonna cut that, and that's how I know how I'm gonna do the rest of them. I would measure this for you. So that is 12, about right there. So that's 14.5 inches long that I have for this ribbon. The other thing you can, instead of going through and literally taking every piece of ribbon, cutting it the same, I mean, you could easily do this. For me, sometimes it's easier to do, but if you got, if you have a piece of cardboard or something, you can always just take it, wrap it around the board. I'm looking to see. I said I was gonna be prepared. 1 second. So I'm gonna move this for a second. So you can take a piece of cardboard. You can measure out the length. I do have a box cutter in front of me. So we know that this was what, 14 and a half? So I could keep this. I keep making some and I don't know what I did with it. So I'm gonna take the cardboard. I'm just gonna measure out. And of course you don't need one this big. Nope. I'm gonna, for the sake of the video, I'm just gonna keep it this big. But you could cut it down to size, just so that it could be comfortable for you. And what you can do to make this easy is kind of place your hand on top of there and go around, and I'm gonna probably go out of frame, go around the board several times, how many you want. Sorry, y'all. So I'm gonna stop right at the top. So you know, so I have one, I already cut 2 of them out, but I'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the other side 5, 6, 7, 8. So when I cut this, I'm gonna have 8 pieces of this ribbon. I'm just gonna cut across the top half. And you wanna try to hold it tight so that you make sure that it's all gonna be the same size. And then I just go right in between, and I'm gonna try to come up closer, go right in between or underneath this ribbon, right here, and I'm gonna cut across. But make sure that you're holding both sides. So I hope I don't cut myself. I'm making sure you guys can see it. And you cut across. Don't do it sloppy like I just did. And then you're gonna take the other side. Same thing. Get right in between there. And cut. So now you got all your pieces of ribbon. See? Go along and take a couple of them and cut your little ducktails out. Or dovetails. Is it ducktails or dovetails? I don't know. So now we have these, and it saved us some time from having to pull the spool. Just making sure that they're all even right there. So now I have those. I'm gonna just sit them over there. I try to do an even number. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 10 of them, but I don't think I need 10. I'll just move that to the side for now. And then I'm gonna take this, and you can do the same thing with the cardboard, or if you don't feel like doing that, of course, measure out one to make sure it's the same length with the ones you have. And of course, you could just cut. And just keep taking your roll. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't need to have all these in my hand. 5. 6. 7. 8. I would tell you one thing. I normally make my bow first because I think I only have one spool of this. But I know that it should be fine because it's not that big of a wreath. But I make my bow first so that I can make sure I have enough to make that big pretty bow. And then I could adjust, you know, this might be too thick to cut so many at one time. So you want to be careful. The other one was a little thinner. But as far as the bow, I could adjust what's inside of the wreath, but I don't want to have the wreath put these ribbon in there and then I don't have enough to make the bow to represent the ribbon that's throughout the wreath. That was 4 of them. I know it was going to be hard to cut. I'm still trying to decide, red or white. I don't think I have a thinner white ribbon. So I guess we're gonna have to go with, I could do a silver, I wonder. Maybe a silver can go. I don't know. Still gonna decide. I think I'm gonna start off with the red, and if I think that it needs some more color to it or like another color to offset it, maybe that's what I'll do. I'll add maybe I won't add as much red. I'll add in something else with like a different color, like a white or a silver, just so it won't be like just this red overload. I guess I could always do green, but so I did 10. Let's do 5. So maybe some of them will have the red included, and some won't. Decisions. a wider white. That might work. I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna make my bow right quick. Let me get all my junk out of the way so I can get my ribbon. So I have the Easy Bow Maker. I like this one, but I don't like this. It always comes out. I don't care what I do. It always somehow comes out. So of course I'm just gonna make my tail first. I guess have it hang some. The thing about this, you can measure. If you go this way, it'll show you the measurements. It also has it on the side too. Or you can just eyeball it. I'm on frame. Eyeball it, cut it even. Maybe eventually I will get the Pro Bow. I think I should put the red in between the two. Just so it's not so much pattern on top of pattern. So I start with my bigger one and then go up. Sometimes it's all big, but if I'm gonna have a smaller, because this is 1 inch and then the other one is 2.5 inch. So if I have the difference in sizes, I normally start with the bigger one at the bottom. So I'm just taking this in. I'm not sure if you guys know how to use the Easy Bow. I actually did another video. I have so much stuff on my phone. I edited everything, and well, I don't have enough storage on my phone to upload it. So I'm gonna have to get some of it off of there just so that I can show you, even put this up. So I'm doing this to 5, so that's a good thing. The Easy Bow has the numbers on there. So I'm gonna do 5, and I'm gonna go 5 times. I'm just taking this, pulling it, stuffing it in the middle. Again, I can see right here that it's 5. And when I go to the other side, I'm twisting it around so that it's this way and not that way. That the print is showing on the front. I think I'm just gonna do 5. Sometimes I do 6 loops, but the 5 should be fine. I have plenty of like peppermints and, you know, different picks to add in there, that the bow doesn't necessarily have to be the showpiece. So I'm just gonna cut as close as possible without making it go in, put close as possible to the center part. And then let's go with the red. And of course you could stack all of your ribbon on here, But what I found was that it starts to, as I'm pulling, they start to overlap. So for this one, I'm not going to do 5. I'm going to go in just a little bit. Not necessarily 5.5. I kind of eyeball this and just, let's see, just go in. I guess that would be a 1/2 inch or so. Not even a 1/4 inch. Just to make sure that the one underneath shows still. I'm gonna do that on the same side. So just making sure that they're even. Put what time is it? I'm actually hungry. I normally don't get hungry until 1:32, but I'm hungry. Again, this is my top layer, and I'm gonna take this in a little bit also from the red. So if you can see, they're kind of layered in size. I'm looking out the window and I'm hoping, I ordered boxes from UPS, and normally they come the very next day. I absolutely hate making boxes, although it probably saves me on money with shipping, but I hate making them. It's like time consuming. You just want to get it packed up and out. And they were, I wouldn't get them to the 12th, and I'm like, what? That's never happened. So, oh, yep. Okay, I'm gonna pause for a second. All right, that was UPS with all my boxes. Okay, so we were doing this. But anyway. I'm glad they came. Okay, remember I told you at the beginning, I love this bow maker, but look, this is about to fall apart. I did a really, really big bow last week. And I went, even the recording I told you guys about, I did the big bow and it failed. Like the whole thing fell out. So I guess I could glue it in. I thought I tried to, because you could see the little glue on there. But for some reason, this is gonna fall too. It comes out. So I just pull this up, although it fell out for me. And I'm staying right in that center because you can see where it's scrunched down. And I'm taking a pipe cleaner. You could take a wire. Some of the bow makers come with the ribbon wire. So it's more like a string. And then I'm twisting this way. You notice I'm not taking it and I'm twisting this. I'm actually holding it right here and I'm twisting at the bow. So then I'm just gonna pull, these are my tails that's down here. And a lot of times just for the bigger the bow, the more likely these are to pull loose. But for good measure, I'm just gonna put like just a little dab of glue, on each side to make sure that pipe cleaner isn't coming apart. So now we have our thing. I can move all of this out the way. You cut your tails, and then you start to separate. So I go through, because remember I started on one side, finished on the other. I had to cut it. So I go through and cut off any of these extra. Make sure you don't cut the ribbon next to it. So I just kind of go through, and any extra that's kind of hanging out, I'll trim it off. do too bad. And then the one in the center, unless you want to use it and fold over that pipe cleaner. So I'm just going to double check both sides, make sure I don't have a lot of overage. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. All right, I'm just going to cut my ducktails, dovetails, ducktails, triangles. Have I showed you guys my studio? I have to show you guys my studio. The UPS driver walked in like, wow, I have to come back here. I am in full Christmas mode over here. So I have Christmas everywhere. Let me know if you guys want to see. No showboating or anything. Just come see all of my, I want to show you guys my organized mess. Because that's what it is. It's not, well, not mess, but you know what I mean. All right, so I'm just pulling these apart. We could always do another video that shows very detailed of the ribbon. So I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna fluff this out. Believe me, I'm gonna fluff this so many times. I'm gonna fluff it out now, just so I can know how it looks on the wreath, but I'm gonna end up fluffing it again because you're gonna be putting your hand on the wreath and you're gonna be moving it and all that. So it's gonna have to be adjusted, but I'm just gonna get the basic fluff out of it. Well, the flattened part out of it. I started to do this live, that way I don't have to go and feel like I need to edit. What's on there is on there. But maybe next time we'll do live. It's in the middle of the day, so people are probably working. Like, why is this child, why is this lady on a live right now? And we're working. All right, as I said, we're gonna probably fix on this a couple of times. I don't know about this. This green just, I don't know. We'll see. So now I'm just gonna find that weak spot I was telling you guys about. I'll find it and put it there. This can always be moved, so don't worry about it. It is not a done deal. I'm just sticking this in here. On the back, sorry. That is pretty by itself. It is really pretty. So I did go ahead, this is where I attached it, and I did it over two of the bars at the bottom. I didn't pull in too deep because then you lose, you know, kind of lose the fluffiness of the bow. So again, like I said, you're probably gonna adjust this many times as you're fixing on your wreath. All right, let's take, so we're gonna take our ribbon now that we cut out. And I decided that I was gonna do some with the red and some without. So I'm just taking the 3. I'm gonna line them up. They should all be the same size. Of course, sometimes not. I'm folding it in half. That way I know where my center is. Oh, sorry, you all. Where my sensor is. And I'm just pushing, gathering them in the center part. And I'm gonna start just placing my ribbon. So usually if my bow is here, I'm kind of going off to the side to kind of over, not that it, I'm not going right here because that's just too much right there. So I'm gonna go over just a little bit. I go up and down. I don't think that I have really a method on where the ribbon should be placed per se when I first start. So I put, let's move around. Of course I started at the bottom. So I put it in and I'm just gonna stretch out the different ribbon. So I'm gonna try to keep my red one in the center. I think I'm gonna cut out some more because I only did 5. Keep my red in the center, but I'm gonna go opposite. So I have the larger 2.5 inch right here, and the peppermint right here. I'm gonna pull these opposite right here, but keep that red in the center over here. So I'm just kind of doing that effect. Yeah, I think I'm gonna keep the red in there. I like it in there. At first I thought it was gonna be just too much red. So again, I'm doing my bigger ribbon at the bottom. Is it raining outside? I'm like hearing stuff, y'all. I'm just kind of folding to see where I am. And then again, this isn't gonna have any sign in it, so I'm gonna come closer to the center part, place it in there. I'm gonna give it 2 twists. Oops. And I'm gonna stretch them out again. So I try not to go too close to each other. We are gonna have, I have plenty of peppermints and candy canes to add into this. So we just wanna add some ribbon in here. So I'll probably do 5 sets of ribbon, but we'll see. So I went from the outer part to the end, and now I'm gonna bring it back out some. Something above my head is like buzzing. That water? And then I'm just gonna spread this out. I'm so sorry. You know, I am a scary cat. So I'm like out here stuff. So I'm not even gonna try to act like I'm brave while I'm on this live. I mean, recording. I'm not live, but while I'm recording, I keep hearing stuff. I'm gonna stand up so I can see and I don't have to necessarily move. I hope you all. So I went out, I'm going back in. So. And then I can, you know, once I do this, if I see that I want to add a couple more ribbon in here, of course we can do it. I cut out 10, so I have some extra. Now I'm gonna go back out. I know I'm out of camera. I'm standing up, so. I'm gonna go back out about right. I'm gonna go up here. I hope I'm in frame. So the good thing about having pipe cleaners that match, you can, just curl them or let them hang out. I probably curl them. Of course, you could take it to the back and secure them to the back of your frame. So here we go. I think maybe another set right here will be good. So I need to cut out one more red. About, let's see, maybe about right here. So what I'm doing right here, although it is pretty even, I actually want this side to come out a little more. So I'm gonna go a little bit off center when placing this because I needed to fill in kind of right here. So just a little bit. Of course, I always could just add another set right there, but I don't think it's necessary. So we have that. Looks pretty good. I might go back and put something here. I don't know. Sometimes you could go ribbon overload, but I think it's fine for right now. All right, I think I'm gonna hang this on the wall so you all can see better. Okay, you guys, let's see. So I didn't hang it on the wall. I tried to do it on, make my own little easel. Well, it is on the easel, and I put the whiteboard behind it so you can really see it. Looks really pretty. So I'm gonna start off maybe with these. I'm just gonna spread these out some to add a little greenery in there. So maybe here, here, and here. So I only have 3 of them. So I'm just gonna place these in here. And in the back, what I'm doing is just bending the pick to attach it to the frame. So I need to make sure it's being seen. So I'm gonna spread it out some. I might have went in too deep. This pick is a little thicker, so it's a little harder to wrap it around. So I'm gonna bend it this way first. Let's see. Uh-oh. I pulled a piece out. It may work, it may not. If not, I have other little things to add. But this kind of brings in some of that other white that I wanted. So over here. I want to attach it yet. I'm gonna see if I want it. I'm just finding a spot. Uh-oh. This might prove harder than I thought to have it sitting here. Turn it around. I'll unravel some of this candy cane so that you can see it. I definitely want to put these in there. So maybe just randomly kind of stick these in there. Because this is kind of full, this pick isn't as long. So just, if you have one as full, you don't want to go too far in that you're not going to see it. And we may have to adjust this ribbon. And see if I can reach to the back without making it high inside. If not, what I'll do is I'll just take one of the pipe cleaners that I have, and I could put them in a center. Let's see. Just kind of put them in the center of the ribbon. I don't know. Over here somewhere. I'm not gonna attach. Let's see. And I do like these, but I don't want to overload. Let's see if I have more. It's only 3. Let's see in my bag if I have one more of those. I have picks everywhere, like literally everywhere. They didn't think about when they put this on here, it's attached to the plastic part. it doesn't want to come off. Let me stand back some so I could see. I don't know. I don't want to put it where you're not going to see it. It doesn't make sense, right? Then I like these. I'm gonna put this in, I'm bend it some. Here somewhere. Maybe about here. I don't know. Sorry, I hope I'm not showing you all my little fat rolls. There. And one more over here somewhere, right? This side is neglected, right? I don't want to overwhelm this side, but I want it even because the bow is over here. So it always look like it's a little more. I could stick them there, but I don't know. Should I use these? Or are we going overboard? Overboard peppermint. I want to individually take these out instead of putting big chunks. Let's see. For some reason, this is calling me. Maybe that peppermint shouldn't be there. Because then maybe that, if I put this here, and take away from my ribbon. You can always bend them. Spread them out some. I just don't want to take away from the ribbon. That's cute. Gotta go over here. Just finding a little spot. That's sticking out too much. Yeah. Bring it in some. There, or leave it. That's really pretty. I may be able to leave this out. I think one more thing is just going, we'll see. But where? Hanging maybe? That's there. Let's, because that's there. It may be too much. Let me stand back. I think this might be a little bit too much. Unless I move these in an upward position. Sorry. So I'm gonna try to go in and down. Know that sound that I heard that I was scared of? Oh, now it's water pouring. It was water on top of the roof, but it's not raining, which is weird. Uh-oh, sorry. Okay. I don't know if I want them to hang like that. I think I'm trying to get them that they're kind of in an upward position. Did I do it? All right. Maybe a candy cane overload. There's peppermints and candy canes. That's cute. So the ones that I cannot get to attach without pushing it too far in, I'm gonna find a little See if it's a pipe cleaner that's close by. That's not bad though. And then fix my bow. I think we are finished. Make that come out some more. I think we good. That's cute. Let me fluff this bow a little bit. I think we're cute. Maybe a ribbon there. So I'm stepping back. Every time you see me do this, I'm stepping back because I kind of want to see. Let's see. Maybe a ribbon there. So I'll go back when I finish it. Let me cut one more of the red. When I'm absolutely sure, and I think I am. Often I'm not when I finish these videos, but I'll go and add just a little dab of glue to any of the picks that I attach to the frame. Oops, wrong way. Just a dab of glue to make sure it's secure on the back. I'm gonna add one more. I think right there. And I think we are all done. Any of those pipe cleaners that's like hanging out. I'm just pushing the ribbon because it's wired, so you could adjust it. I'm pushing it in closer to make, so it won't have that open space right there. And I don't know how well you all could see that, but I want it to look more curved and part of the wreath instead of like I just stuck a bow in there. So this part came out, so I have to glue this back into that pick. So I'm gonna have it more like that. So I will just curve, like make some people take a pencil or something and like curl those pipe cleaners, but none are really sticking out that's real noticeable to me. I'll make sure I go through, but it goes with it. The red goes with it. I think it came out really nice. What do you guys think? Let's see if I can come in a little closer. Or, I know my lighting is horrible, but I'm coming closer that you all see. I think it came out pretty. All right, hopefully you can see. I will take a picture. Let's see. Go back. All right, you guys. I hope you liked it. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section. If you haven't subscribed, I'm going to work on, I promise. I promise. I'm going to work on trying to upload more videos. It's just a little time consuming, and I have this little iPhone, so I'm going to work on that to get more videos out. So I hope you enjoyed. I know this was a long one, but we did from start to finish on a 12-inch frame. Pretty good. I still didn't find my measuring stick. I have no idea where it could be. I always move stuff. I'll measure it and I'll put it in the description to tell you guys how wide it actually came out to be. But that's pretty good. All right. See you all later.